Hey everybody, Kris Gethin here. Now, if you're over the age of 35, like myself, your enzyme levels have already begun to decline. Enzymes are the workhorses of digestion. They break down your food into usable macro and micronutrients. Now, research shows that the time that someone hits 65 years old, their saliva and pancreatic secretions, both of which involved in enzyme activity, have declined by as much as 50%. Now, if you've looked at my Instagram posts, my stories, you'll notice that quite often if I'm eating out, if I'm having a steak or something like that, I am eating my Masszymes by Optimizers. Now, the reason why I take this is because it has over 102% more proteins than the nearest competitor and 300 to 500 more per serving than most popular brands. Now, this is crucial because as us being bodybuilders or athletes, we require a lot of protein. And it isn't just about how much you eat, it's always how much you absorb. So you got to break it down. So not only does the Masszymes contain more proteins, it also contains 13 additional enzymes, including lipase for fat digestion, which work at a very high pH level from 2 to 12. In other words, at every state of digestion. So you can try this right now today, risk-free. Their 365-day full money-back guarantee is the gold standard. So if you feel that Masszymes are going to help you upgrade your digestion like mine and power through your food, their support team will give you a no-question-asked refund. And when you go to masszymes.com/Kris20, be sure to enter that coupon code Kris20 to receive a 20% discount off that order. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Knowledge and Mileage podcast. This is Kris Gethin. And before I get into this, I just want to thank all you guys for leaving your comments, your reviews, asking me questions on the pages, because your ratings and reviews really do mean a lot to me, and they keep the lights on with this podcast. So please, if you can, pause right now and leave an honest review and rating for me. I do read every single one of those, so I do encourage you. So thank you ever so much for that. As I am talking to you right now, it is Sunday. It is snowing outside. So much snow has come overnight. It's absolutely beautiful. I love all the seasons. I love the summer, spring, autumn, winter. I love the contrasting of events because, I don't know, like I've lived in climates where it's like summer all year round and the years just blend into each other. The year, you get to the end of the year and it's very quickly gone by. And it's quite hard to recollect exactly what happened when, but when you have it segregated and filed with different forms of weather during the year, I just acknowledge it a lot more. I feel like I'm a little bit more present. It's just like, you listen to an old album or a song and it takes you back. Well, it's, that nostalgia. Well, I kind of get that, especially during this time. It's beautiful. So I'm going to do this podcast and get my butt out there. And I finish packing. Tomorrow I go out on the road. I fly to London. I'm in London, fly 24 hours. Then I go to Dubai. I'm there for about 4 days. Go to India for about 4 days and come back to London for like 2 days. Paris for 4 days. Then up to Wales for about 5 or 6 days. Before then flying back to Boise. So I'm going to be out on the road as of tomorrow for several weeks. So let's get ahead of ourselves because before we know it, it is going to be the holidays. Like, we've just gone through some crazy holidays here in the U.S. Obviously, we had Halloween first, and everybody's trick-or-treating. Everybody's grabbing their chocolates and having pumpkin pie and all that jazz. And then Thanksgiving, another justification to go and gorge and be merry. And now we got the Christmas holidays come up, and they seem to extend further and further every year. It's like, get out the way, Thanksgiving. We need Christmas here right now. The decorations are up. They kind of swipe everything aside. And it's just one big marketing gimmick, I think. Just to get people to buy more, and hoard more and more. But, humbug, I say. Keep it to December. But with that, people find a justification and an excuse to become a little bit more lazy, eat a lot of dense calories with no nutritional content, and, well, it's Christmas. I can do this. And then they find themselves January 2nd or 7th, I'd say, this year, because I'll probably be the first Monday, and signing up for that gym membership that doesn't get used after February. And then the vicious cycle comes. So how do you make this a lifestyle? Well, there's definitely some damage control that needs to be put in place before the holidays hit. Like, I've dieted through many, many holidays, many Christmases, many birthdays, many New Years, because I was competing as a bodybuilder for about 9 years. And quite often the start of the season or the qualifiers would be in March. So I'd be dieting through the Christmas holidays, which is absolutely fine by me. I definitely wouldn't use that as justification to get off the bandwagon. And then, get into those qualifications and then compete again around like September time. So you'd never really go right off the diet, for quite a number of years then, that's glad to say I'm not bodybuilding now, but still I try not to go off track. And that isn't just from a vanity standpoint, it's from a health standpoint. I don't want those trans fats. I don't want to use social gatherings as a justification, or Christmas as a justification to go and cause an inflammatory response in my body constantly until it's systemic. Then I have cravings for the rest of the year because I've fed those cravings over the Christmas time. Because that's one thing I think people don't quite understand. They're like, well, it's okay if I have a little splurge for a week or maybe 2 weeks. But the thing is, you've created even more insulin resistance. So now throughout the year, you're going to find it harder to burn off fat. You're going to have more cravings. You're going to have more crashes. Your blood sugar levels are going to be all over the place. That chemical response in your brain is going to be present, telling you to eat more food, especially over time when you're having calorie-dense food that isn't nutritionally dense. You should be eating nutritionally dense food that isn't calorie-dense. Quite the opposite, since industrialization has come and reared its ugly head to us. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips that I utilize over the holiday period, just to ensure, because I'm human just like everybody else. I get those cravings, I get pressured. Quite often I could be in a different country and then there's an 80-year-old or 90-year-old person within that household who their cultural basis are a lot of the time platforms on food. They're foodies, and it's a cultural thing, and they take offense if you don't eat or try their food. And I've offended a lot of people around the world, because I could be around a table with 18 other people, and all 18 of them have caved in, or they're eating the food to be polite, or maybe they're part of their culture or that family. Yet I'm the one that's saying, no, I'm sorry, it's just not part of me. It doesn't make me feel right. Why should I be doing something to please somebody else when I'm the one that's going to walk away not feeling good? So, I hate to say it, but, I have to be selfish sometimes to be selfless, because in my latter years, when I'm 80, 90, 100 years myself, I want that selfishness to feed to that selflessness that I am then experience as my future self. So all the choices that we make are going to heal us or harm us. I prefer to heal myself. So number one, acknowledge your weaknesses. So as you go into the holidays, before you've even got on that plane or before you've even invited people around, try to detail and acknowledge and be aware of what those weaknesses are. Now, is it family? Is it certain family members? Is it friends? Is it food? Is it sweets in particular? Or is it overeating on the savory foods? Is it laziness, especially as the nights draw in and it's not as light outside in the morning or in the evenings? People tend to become very lazy and go, oh, wow, it's too late to go outside now, even though it's only 6 o'clock in the evening. Or is it because the gyms are closed? Or is it because everyone stays up late and you tend to stay up late as well? Or is it alcohol? As an example, like I went away for Thanksgiving, and I try to stick to my schedule of going to bed at a certain time, which is relatively early, around 9:30. And whilst everybody was up watching TV and doing their thing, 9:30 comes around, and I'm saying, "Okay, good night, everybody. I'm going to bed." And they may feel that's a little bit odd. Whatever. I want to stick to my routine. I don't want to go too far off. And even though you may say, "Well, that's only a little something. You could stay up 30 minutes." Yeah, that 30 minutes could turn into 45 minutes, or me being disciplined in that respect, and then all of a sudden not being disciplined. I could lose that discipline in another area of my life. So I try not to give myself an inch, because I know what I'm like. I could possibly take a mile. So I'd prefer to kind of stick to my realms. But, I will always figure out, are there gyms around? If the gyms are closed, I'll figure out my next move then. But I want to be aware beforehand, before going anywhere, and not being presented with surprises. The surprises is what's going to knock you off. So you don't want that element of surprise creep up on you. So number 2, detail how you propose to attack those weaknesses. So is it going to be fasting? So if you know that you're going to have a big meal in the afternoon on Christmas, maybe you want to fast in the morning. That's exactly what I did on Thanksgiving. I fasted all morning, and I think we ate Thanksgiving about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I felt a little bit better about that, even though I did eat healthy food choices. The pumpkin pie did come out, but thankfully Sunshine had made a healthy vegan cheesecake, so I had a slice of that instead. So if the gym is closed, or you can't get to the gym because there's so much snow out there or whatever, try to come up with a program. Search online, create a workout that you can do at home, because something is going to be better than nothing. You can get some great functional plyometric workouts at home. And if you are somebody that gets a lot of sweet cravings, and over the Christmas period there's a lot of chocolate, candy, pies, cheesecake, whatever, you name it, that's going to give you a sweet tooth. That's going to lead to even more sweetness cravings, and you're going to create even more insulin resistance, which is going to make it very difficult for you to burn off fat in the future. So maybe have a few packets of stevia handy, some natural sweetener, so you can put that over certain foods. You can put it in your tea. You could have like a dark chocolate, and you could put some sweetener in there, a hot chocolate. There's all sorts of things you can do with it. You can put it in some cooking. So, in some desserts. One of the things that I love making, and I'll always have it. So I'm going to be in Wales for Christmas. I called ahead to make sure that Dad has some casein there. So if he's got some casein, perfect. Then I'm going to make some desserts whilst I have some cravings, because I know that they will come up every now and again. Everybody's eating chocolate. Everyone's having candy. Everyone's having some type of pie or pudding. So I can make my own pudding. I can make a casein from Caged Mussel with some fruits in there, some berries, some cranberries, some strawberries, some pineapple, some chopped nuts, mixed with some almond milk, coconut milk, or cashew milk, and hey presto, I'm ready to go. Sometimes I'll put in some like coconut yogurt or dairy-free yogurt, just to give it a creamier texture. Again, bloody beautiful, mate. So, think about non-alcoholic drinks that you can have. Maybe some people actually crave the carbonation, and what I do is have like a sparkling water, and I'll put hydrocharge in there. Now, if you must have an alcoholic beverage, maybe go for a white spirit. A whiter spirit's going to be a little bit cleaner. And if, I'm not somebody who is telling you to go out and drink alcohol, but if you must drink alcohol and you're drinking something like a vodka, maybe add a bit of sparkling water to it and add a hydrocharge to it, because at least then you're getting your antioxidants and your electrolytes in there as well. And you are staying hydrated, because not only are you drinking the vodka, which is usually mixed with some type of soda or, sweetened beverage such as a Coke or a lemonade or a Sprite, add some sparkling water in there, so you're getting the hydrating factors from that too. So, you're trying to negate all the negative possibilities, such as a hangover coming from dehydration. And number 3 Encourage your family or friends to be active so you can go out on hikes, walk the animals, go rock climbing, and obviously, find a local gym. So whenever I go back to Wales, I train at a local gym there called Nick's Gym, which is really, really good because up until some years ago, there was no local gym there. It was pretty bad. And they set up a really, really good gym there. So I always make sure I go down there and get Nick or Martin or someone down there to train me and absolutely hand my ass to me, because I want to make sure that whilst I'm traveling, I'm getting ahead. I'm not going behind. I'm not staying stable. I'm still moving forward. I'm evolving, and taking myself out of my comfort zone is always very comforting to me. So they will put me through some boxing sessions, some CrossFit sessions, some functional sessions, and really take me out of my comfort zone. And already my family has already asked if I want to go rock climbing with them. So my sister's organizing that. Perfect. That's a way to spend time with the family over the Christmas period whilst being active. We will go for a hike. We are also on Boxing Day. We're meeting with the family. We're going for a walk. So we stay active all the time, which is really, really good and important, because not only is it important to me and my parents, but it's important to my nieces as well, for them to see that and grow up with that, being active over the Christmas period, going out and playing in the snow. And yeah, it gets cold. Yeah, it gets wet. But, kids are strong. Adults are strong. Skin is waterproof. We can do it. And we do. So that's something that I really encourage people as well. And if you've got a dog, don't worry. They're not going to freeze to death in the snow. Take them out for a walk, get the blood flow flowing. That's exactly what I'm going to do as soon as I finished with this podcast. I'm going to take my puppy Slate out for a run. Hopefully I won't slip on my ass, but, they love playing in the snow. I don't know what it is with humans today where they say keep the animals indoors, keep the kids indoors, you're going to catch a death of cold. It's like, Jesus, harden the F up and get out there and play and have some fun. We used to do this 30 years ago. There's no reason why you can't do it 30 years later. So encourage your family to get involved with that. And number 4, write out an active day of squats, push-ups, lunges, burpees, star jumps, sit-ups, etc. So if you look at the blue zones around the world, now these are the areas where you have the healthiest, longest living people in the world. These are the centenarians. Not only are they increasing their lifespan, they increase their health span. However, they don't have a CrossFit WOD right outside their village. They don't have gyms there. They don't participate in triathlons or Spartan events. No, but they stay active all day. They may have manual labor. They may work on a farm. They may have to walk to, the village or wherever they are. But mostly when these centenarians and these blue zones have been studied, these are active people throughout the day, not just hitting a 1-hour session and then sitting on their ass, or 2-hour session in the morning and night and then sitting on their ass. They are staying active all the time. So that's why I would encourage on the hour, every hour, go and perform, say, 2 minutes of squats and maybe a minute of burpees. And then an hour later, you can go out, you can do your sit-ups for, 3 sets, and you can do push-ups for 5 sets. Or you could do, like I said, squats, lunges, star jumps, burpees. There's loads of different, you go up and down the stairs. There's lots of different activities you can do. Or if you, as soon as you've finished eating a meal, go and walk around the block for 10 minutes and come back in. Then, do it again an hour later. Doing that is very, very healthy for you, very good for you, and you are going to burn off any excess calories that you are taking in, dependent on the amount of calories that you're pulling in, obviously. Don't think that you can go walking around the block with a Mars bar or Snickers in your hand and feel that it's okay, it's justification. Hold on, Sunshine's putting on my socks in the background there. Oh, they're my socks. I've been looking for them. She's just unpacked now, and I've been looking for these socks everywhere as I'm packing tomorrow. Anyway, sorry about that. Shouldn't distract me. Anyway, so number 5, go shopping on a full stomach. Over the Christmas period, you will be going out shopping, and of course, you'll use that justification that is in your head saying, yeah, it's Christmas. I should get a chocolate orange. I should get some quality streets. Should get some Cadbury's celebrations or whatever it is you decide to fall for. And a lot of the time, your mind is going to play tricks on you because your blood sugar levels could be low because you haven't eaten for several hours. I do encourage you to eat before you make your way to the shopping mall or to the grocery store, just to ensure that you're not hungry, you're not grabbing for the bad foodstuffs because your brain is playing tricks on you due to lower blood sugar levels. And number 6, this is something that I do suggest. I want you to go out there and research this yourself. Research the adverse effects of sugar. Research the adverse effects of the sugar on the microbiome, the inflammatory response, the insulin resistance that it gives you. And you all know about the sugar crash. But this isn't just for now, today, your side effects of taking that sugar. What about for the future? If you want to prevent cravings getting worse and worse and worse for the future, and sugar has been shown to be just as addictive as heroin. When they've done a lot of these studies on mice, they found the mice actually went towards the sugar more than the heroin after. And this doesn't surprise me at all. Look at the biggest terrorist act in the world right now. It's diabetes. It's obesity. This is something that, we can't really just say, because you just don't have any self-control, you're weak. Well, no, these people have actually created this insulin resistance within themselves, this inflammatory response within their gut, screwed up their microbiome, led to a chemical response in their brain, and now they're not feeling too good until they get that sugar rush, that endorphin fix, that dopamine fix. And that's what happens when you open up that little pathway from the stomach to your brain until it's a freeway and it's just running all the time and it's not happy until you feed it. So please be aware. Look into the adverse effects of sugar. Like, I cannot believe that there's people in my space, in my health and fitness industry, telling people to go out and eat sugar. Yeah, go and have table sugar. It's fine. Go and eat like gummy bears or whatever it may be, post-workout, or loads of sugar. No, you shouldn't do that. I understand if you're going out and you're competing in an endurance event for several hours. Yeah, you will need to top yourself up possibly, but I would definitely go for different forms like cluster dextrin and Vitago. There's a much healthier versions out there than just going out for pure table sugar. And there's a lot of people that actually can go out on these endurance events and utilize fats as their fuel, better sustain release, and utilizing ketones as opposed to having to top up your insulin levels or glycogen levels all day. But anyway, that's for another episode. We can go into that. But number 7, don't overdo it while you're shopping for food. So many times I see people come back with a huge shopping trolley of food and think, okay, I'm not going to come back to the supermarket for 4 more weeks. You would be much better off going there little by little, if you have the time, week by week. Because if you have an overload of food in your cupboards, the chances of you overeating is highly possible. So if you put in too much food into your cupboards, the chances of you overeating on those foods is highly possible. So make sure you don't have too much. And if you are going to splurge on a little bit of cake or candy or something over the Christmas period, you don't have to buy 10 bags. You don't have to buy the super-sized cheesecake. You can buy a slice. You can buy half a cake. You can have 1 bag. Just think about that. Overconsumption is prevalent in the US. Let's not become a part of that. Let's not add to that either. So another thing you can do is remove a lot of crap from your cupboards over the Christmas period. Or, I don't know if you're going to visit somebody and you're going to remove crap from their cupboards, but be aware of where that is. And, for the time being, out of sight, out of mind, maybe put it in a basement. Just hide it. Get it out of your eye line or donate it to a food bank over this time of year. There's a lot of people out there starving. They don't have food. And I know giving them bad food is not a good choice. However, they have no choice. So something is going to be better than nothing there as opposed to just throwing it away, even though it should be just waste. We don't want to contribute to the waste factor either. So, when visiting family, look in their cupboards as well. So if you're going to stay at your family's for like a week or something like that, write a list of the foods that they have in their cupboards that you know that will entice you. Like if I go home and there's Jaffa cakes in a cupboard, I'm like, I like Jaffa cakes. I need to write a detailed list of why that entices me. Okay. And then what I'll do is look at all the unnatural ingredients in there and detail their harmful effects on my lifespan and my health span, because I'm quite familiar of a lot of ingredients and what their adverse reactions are. But you may want to write down those ingredients, look them up, and then figure out what those adverse reactions are to you. Are they going to be shortening your lifespan? Is it going to have a problem as you try to contribute your goals over the festival period or into the future? Is it going to hold you back? And if so, how so? So the more that you can be detailed and write these things down, I guarantee you the better your possibility of getting through the holidays is going to be. And fill up on fiber and fluids, obviously, not alcohol. But as I mentioned before, people consume calorie-dense food but not nutrient-dense food, and they wonder why they're still hungry after they've eaten a huge volume of calorie-dense food. Well, if there's no nutritional profile in it, you've chosen the wrong foods, or you've overcooked those vegetables of their micronutrients, then how is your body going to be fulfilled of the nutrients that it's craving? It's not. Regardless of the amount of calories, regardless of the volume of that food, if you are not feeding your nutrition, your nutrient profiles and your body's cravings for them, for recovery, for activity, for functionality, then you're always going to be craving something. So make sure that you're getting the micronutrients in place first. Lots of plant matter, leafy greens, and a lot of fiber. Fiber will volumize, it will swell up, it will fill you up more. So I suggest that you get plenty of fiber with every one of these meals. Over the Christmas period, a lot of people eat sweets, yes, but they eat a lot of complex carbs. And yeah, if you're going for chicken breast, yeah, you're going to have good protein in it, but the chicken breast doesn't have the fats or the collagen or anything like that you'd have in more the darker meats. Even though it's going to be higher in fat, you're better going higher in fat than lower in the nutrient profile and higher in sugar. Okay, so consider that. And, drink plenty of fluid. Again, if you're stuck indoors, you've got the heating on or the air conditioning, dependent on where you are, you're not going out as much, you're drinking alcohol, you're having a lot of complex carbohydrates, you are going to become dehydrated very, very quickly. And if you're dehydrated, of course, you're not going to be as full. So make sure that you hydrate yourself as much as possible over the Christmas period. So I will have my essential amino acids from Amino Synergy, or I'll have HydroCharge throughout the day, and I'll be drinking just as much as I usually do throughout the Christmas period to ensure that my mind isn't playing tricks on me, because I've been playing tricks on my nutrient profile. So keep that in mind as well. Anyway, I'd say that is enough for you to go on. So a lot of people would say, well, give me more information, give me more. No. Apply it. Like, how many people do I know that read books and they become students of learning but do not do anything? They don't apply it with action. As I always say, if you are coming up with all these thoughts and great ideas but aren't following with action, you're just daydreaming. So I've given you plenty here to act upon. That's going to be the more important thing as opposed to additional tips. So anyway, as I mentioned, guys, please do leave a rating and review. Please be honest. I do look at every single one of these and they do keep the lights on. So thank you very much for listening. And until next time, happy holidays. This is the Knowledge and Mileage Podcast. Peace.